All right, Rabbi Sai. We are learning about Vesas Haguf tonight.
Cohen's out of town?
No.
Denny?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
Been-
You know? I don't know. Okay, so we're learning about Vesas Haguf tonight. Vesas Haguf, my friends, is somewhat more common than Vesas Hakfitzas. We learned about Vesas Hakfitzas last week. And a woman jumps and gets a period. We don't really have that nowadays. But Vesas Haguf is not uncommon because it basically means that a woman gets certain physical symptoms around the time of her Vesas. Now, according to a little Google search that I did today, it's not uncommon for women nowadays to get something called premenstrual syndrome. In fact, 3 out of every 4 women get it, as all you husbands can attest to. And it affects women in one way or another in terms of mood swings and so on and so forth. So,
Mood swing is Vesas Haguf?
no, it's not actually, but it's just one of the symptoms that is now recognized as a premenstrual syndrome. And according to the website, I was on mayoclinic.org. I emailed this out earlier today. Premenstrual syndrome can include joint or muscle pain, headache, fatigue, abdominal bloating, breast tenderness, acne flare-ups, constipation, or diarrhea. My point is that this is something that is recognized by medical science, that women have certain physical symptoms that accompany their period.
You mentioned sneezing or burping.
No mention of sneezing, burping, flatulence, yawning, or any of the
No
above.
mention of yawning or anything.
No. But the idea of backache is not mentioned either, but that's definitely something women feel. No, but the idea of joint or muscle pain, that could be, because the idea of stomach pain is mentioned. Abdominal bloating, that's also mentioned, at least, feeling heavy, right? That's one of the things that our head feels heavy and our limbs feel heavy. Headache is mentioned, Roisha, our head is heavy, kind of a headache. So some of these things are mentioned in other words, but more or less. Okay, with no further ado, we learn Sif Yotes. Now, as we're going to see in Sif Yotes, we have Vesas Haguf being different than Vesas Hakfitzas in that it can be established on its own, as opposed to Vesas Hakfitzas because it's not so natural. So even though the Torah says it can be established on its own, but we don't pass it like the Torah. Chaber says it's not a Vesas at all on its own. Rambam says it can be a Vesas She'ena Kavua after 3 times. But La Halacha, we don't hold that it's able to be Kavua at all on its own unless it's with a certain day. Vesas Haguf, on the other hand, because it is a natural phenomenon, that the body has certain reactions to the onset of the period. So therefore, we can associate those feelings with the period, even on their own, without any other connection to the day. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I should mention actually that the Mefarshim point out that the Rambam actually holds that Vesas Haguf is like a Vesas Hakfitzas in this way. He only ever mentions Vesas Haguf as being accompanied by Vesas Hayam. He never mentions it as a Vesas on its own. But all of the other Rishonim, Achronim do not ask him like him. So in fact,
Good evening.
Good evening. We started a bit late, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We just started a few minutes ago. We're just starting Shir 28, Seif 19.
Thank you.
So we're saying that most all poskim hold that a vesas haguf can be established on its own. It does not have to be accompanied by a certain day. Okay, we are learning Sifir Test. Yesh kavas vesas hagdei mikim shir begufa. Kigoyin shmefahekes. Hainu kodem shapoichet zerois amachmas kovet. There's a woman who established the vesas symptom which occurs in her body. For example, mifahekes. Now the Mechaber is going to give three different translations of the word mifahekes. Huh? Mifahekes, the first one he says is yawning.
This make it to change the
It doesn't make it, it's an expression. Her body reacts, she reacts.
She reacts to that.
She reacts,
Okay.
exactly. And this is not what brings it. This is a reaction to her having.
Like Siman.
Exactly. Or, Kanav Shepusei Alpiv, Machmas Koivim. Or like a person who yawns due to heaviness, exactly, stretching, yawning, as well as the Kadosh Motzi called Echakorin, or like a person who burps, okay, emits a sound through his throat, which is what we call a burp. These are three translations of the word Mefahekes in the Gemara, which we accept all of them lahalach. The same thing if she passes gas from her bottom, which is one definition of a misateshes. Another one, by the way, is sneezes. She sneezes. By the way, I mentioned in the, not that Shulchan Aruch needs a proof from the Mayo Clinic, but on that website they do mention that women can get either diarrhea or constipation, which is certainly related to the concept of passing gas, together with this.
Probably 82.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. Or if she feels abdominal pain in her navel or her womb. Pikresa, the mouth of her stomach. The mouth of her stomach is her navel, belly button. Or she gets the chills. She translates kadachas as shivering of a fever, but it's basically the chills. Or if her head or limbs feel heavy, that's like a joint pain or headache or whatever. All of these, if it happens 3 times and she gets a period, she gets a vesas. Whenever she gets these feelings again, she will be forbidden to have relations. It becomes a vesas kavua. And in order to uproot it, she would have to have those same symptoms 3 times and not get her period. All of these vestas do not have to have a specific time. We're going to see in Chaf Dalin and Chaf Hey. It depends if the period usually lasts past the symptom or not. If the period... No, here we're talking about when it comes at the same time. At the same time, together with it.
12 hours. If it's,
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a woman who gets this feeling and gets the period during the feeling. During the feeling. Yeah, while she's still having the feeling. Not just at the same time. So while she's still having the feeling, she gets it. Now we're going to discuss later, I'll discuss a woman who gets it for a few days before, 1 day, 2 days, maybe more. That's not what the Shulchan Aruch discusses, but we will discuss it. If it's before, not really, we'll see. The point is that in this case, we're going to see actually in Chaftal and Chafei, it depends if she normally bleeds past the symptom or not. If the symptom is usually together with the bleeding and no bleeding continues after the symptom, then she's only asur while she feels the symptom. But if it lasts past the symptom, then she's asur for the rest of the oina as well. That's what we're going to see in Chaftal and Chafei. So the point is, Each of these cases, if it happened to 3 times, if she had a period, she's every time she feels one of these symptoms, she's forbidden to have tashmish. Okay. Now, there's a little caveat here that the Mechaber says. Sorry, if in Babas is Haguf. This man Yadua. Did I skip something?
Yeah, well, me,
Yeah, I skipped something. Me Piuka Yitu Shopamachas in the Vesses Nikwa. Elashkos came harbor from Zachazeh. Skip that line, sorry. Nonetheless, with a single yawn of flatulence, the Vess is not established, and she performs them many times in a row. So the fact that a woman yawns and gets a period, that's not considered significant. That's just happens to be, even if it happens 3 times in a row. One yawn, that's not.
In what? How long is the span? Within the same moment? You just yawn.
Talking about yawning, exactly. We're not talking about a woman who gets it first and then gets a period. Here we're talking about a woman who gets it and gets a period right away. A woman who gets it and then stops and gets a period later, that could be also. Could be also within the same window. Within the same window. Definitely within the same window. If it's a no before, we'll discuss that soon. But the point is that it has to be several of these symptoms in order to show that it's something different than a normal yawn, normal sneeze. I'm sorry? Right. Exactly. So it doesn't say exactly how many sneezes, 3, 4, 5, but
A
something.
single incident is not going to establish anything.
Right. Not even as a Vashenical. It has to be that it happens in an unusual way. Something unusual, kind of sneeze or yawn or burp or whatever, and then she gets it. That could be a sign. Sorry?
what, 2?
It doesn't really say a minimum.
3 times that a week.
No. 3 times is to make it kavua.
Right.
How many times does it have to be for it to be considered unusual?
Just like many times.
I don't think our going to clarify this. Give me a moment. Loinus bar shiroi achbavade dafka yetsu megimel pam. Yoter megimel. Rabbi says that definitely more than 3. He's not sure how many more, but it has to be more than 3.
It means at a time, yeah?
At a time. Exactly.
And then it has to happen again or just one time?
Also, we're going to see that if she gets it once, then she has a she'ena kavua. If she gets it 3 times, it becomes kavua.
No, I meant it's only required once in the same owner, meaning if she just sneezed 4 times and then 3 hours later she gets her period, that's considered sneezing and
So start setting.
Yeah.
that's the go.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be she sees a set of 4 here, a set of 4 an hour later, a set of 4 an hour later.
No.
It's not a sneeze attack for the day.
No. Doesn't say that. Okay.
You mix and match.
No. Cannot mix and match.
So she sneezes and she gets it, and then the next time she doesn't get it through sneezing, it's through some other physical symptom. Got it.
Totally not connected.
Okay.
If she sneezes 1 time and gets it, yawns another time and gets it, and burps another time and gets it, she has no kavua for anything. She has 3 ena kavuas, but she has no
See what the
kavua.
next one yields, right?
She has no kavua. These 3 things, these symptoms are all different than one another.
So she starts over at that point.
Or she's got a
No.
three-way
No,
tie.
she hasn't started over. She hasn't uprooted anything. To
Right.
uproot it, she has to get it and not get a
No,
period.
but if she had it, she's sneezing, and the first 2 times she gets in a row, the 3rd time she coughs or something, and she doesn't, and she gets
It's
it.
not kavua.
So
It's always
that's-
fine.
The first 2 can't be counted.
They're not counting for a kvias, but they haven't been uprooted yet. A woman who gets one of these things once still has to worry about it once until the next time she sneezes and doesn't get it. She has to worry for the first sneeze or 4 sneezes.
Because
Or
there
whatever.
could be a huge aflaga, that's why.
Sorry?
It could just, because it could be in the big aflaga, like she'll see it 72 days later.
No. Why are you saying that?
Okay.
One second.
When
Nothing to
she
do with
sees it
aflaga.
the second time,
Nothing to do with aflaga. The fact that until until she sneezes and doesn't get it,
And we don't know.
we don't know if this symptom is accompanying the vesis. A vesis haguf, let me explain to you. Vesis haguf doesn't mean that every time she gets a period, she's going to get this vesis. But what it means, every time that she gets this vesis, she gets a period. You understand? So getting a period without this vesis does not uproot it. The only way to uproot it is to have this symptom without getting a period. That's the point.
Can she use that symptom to get non-kavua? If she has 3 times different sneeze and cough and
What do you mean to become non-kavua? Every woman is non-kavua until she becomes kavua. I don't know what you mean. To become kavua, you have to become kavua.
no, but we use not kavua. We use some like on that date. She if it's not kavua, we do something, right?
Yeah. Even after once, she's not kavua. Every woman who gets a period even once has a vesis that's not kavua. How much more so if she has 3 times? She has 3 ones that are not kavua.
So, but 3 times a different symptom.
Saying that's why it's not kavua.
It's not kavua. But you still need to worry about not kavua.
Sure. Not as strict as kavua. There's many differences, as we've learned, but she still has to worry. We're going to learn more of the details of kavua, not kavua for vesis haguf.
Anybody want that we can symptom of the vision?
No.
Anybody want that's just perhaps like this one symptom?
Yes. Everybody agrees that the way it works is that these are a reaction to the body's basically reaching a level of the blood reaching its maximum point.
So basically, regardless if she's having it, she's gonna get it. No matter what.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a sign that the blood has reached its tipping point, that she's filling up with blood, or whatever word you want to say. I don't know what the word is, but it's a sign that her body has reached that point in her cycle. So it doesn't bring it, right? It's it's not a conscious thing, you know what I mean? But this is how the body is reacting to the part of the cycle that she's in. Okay. It's interesting that science doesn't really understand this whole thing. No, they say clearly the research is not, there's no conclusive understanding of why women get these particular symptoms. They just know it's something to do with the hormones and the thing, but they can't really define it.
It's like
Anyway.
they don't know how to build their unit.
That's a little bit more complicated than this, but yeah. Okay,
Quick question.
yes.
What if a woman regularly experiences physical symptoms on the same day every month? Which one?
That's actually what we're learning about right now. You took the word out of the Shulchan Aruch's mouth. Here it is. Ve'im ba, vesis haguf. בזמן ידוע, כגון מש חודש לש חודש, ומחף לחף יום. קוף על הווסס, לזמן על המחש הווסס. ונחשש זה לשניהם ביחד. If the body vesis comes at a specific date, for example, Rosh Chodesh every 20 days, Rosh Chodesh is vesis a chodesh, and every 20 days is vesis afloga. She then established the vesis for a combination of the date and the symptom of the vesis, and only suspects for both together. If the time arrived, but let me read further.
Together or each one separately?
Together. Read the Shulchan Aruch. Ve'eino chesheshes. Sorry? At the end of Aleph. The end of Yutes. Ve'eino chesheshes ela l'shneim biyachad. She only worries about both of them together. And if the time came without the feeling, or the feeling came without the time, she has nothing to worry
And
about.
what's this, the two shneim? What's the shneim?
The michush and the yoim. This is called a Veses HaMorkav. It's a combination Veses. We had this last week when we had the concept of kfitzas coming on a certain day. So that was a Veses, that was Morkav, it was combined Veses of jumping and days. And now we're learning about a combined Veses, Morkav, like tarkivin, like different ingredients. It's a combined Veses of Michush, which is the feeling, Veses Haguf, together with the Veses of days. Of days.
Ah, the days,
Yamim.
okay. The calendar, the days, okay.
Let's say she have a period of Rosh Chodesh Elai.
Kavua or not kavua?
She say Kapala already, she's talking about Kavua.
So you're asking about kavua, yeah?
Yeah, okay, so you're not Choshesh for Rosh Chodesh. In a way, you have to wait until the end of the honor to see if she have the other symptoms. So basically, you actually do Choshesh anyway. It's Rosh Chodesh Elai. But the puke can be in the morning, can be in the afternoon. So sometimes like it has to be in the beginning of the day, the puke. So in a way, regardless, because you have the convention of both, you're gonna take the choshev the same way now.
That's actually a question. Because here it seems in the Machaber that he's saying that a woman that has a Veses that is Morka for day and Veses Haguf and Michush only suspects when both of them come.
Only starts.
So we understand if she gets the feeling on the wrong day, we say, listen, it's the wrong day, so nothing to worry about. But if it's the day that she's expecting it, so why do you allow her to be with her husband? If there's no feeling, maybe the feeling's going to come any minute. And maybe at the same time, the feeling's going to come and her period's going to come. And this is actually something that the Machaber says pretty clearly.
We studied something like that before, similar to this point.
Could be we discussed it. Here it is in Seif Chafei. Seif Chafei. Im echad me'elu ba'al zman yadua. Az vade asura kol oinas haveses. Kamei veses yamin greda. If one of these happens at a certain time,
So why would they say like you're not choshesh?
so I'm reading to you. It's a question. If one of them happens on a certain day, she's aser the entire oina, just like it was a veses yamin. So she is aser. So what does it mean here? Eina chesheshes, she doesn't worry. So it's a question. But what the pshat could be is,
I thought it was on the day.
sorry,
Mechila. They said the shnehem choshesh, but if it's a one, that's what we're talking about. No choshesh.
right? But in Chafei it says that she's aser the whole day.
And chafei.
Seif Chafei.
So why is it the Chaver was made of the year one or whatever it was to take himself?
So here's the pshat. Here's how the Meforshim explain. What the Machaber means is that she is not choshesh
On the test you're talking about?
in test, yeah. In terms of a bedika, she does not have to do a bedika on that day unless she gets the feeling.
Both of them.
If she gets the feeling, she has to do a bedika because that's a resas. She doesn't get the feeling, so the whole day, no feeling. I'm not worried about it. And afterwards, the vesas is over, no feeling, fine. She's good to go with her husband without any bedika at all. However, as far as actually being with her husband, she has to separate. So when it says Einei Chesheshes here, it's only talking about the bedika. As far as the bedika is concerned, she doesn't have to do bedika. Until she gets the feeling, she doesn't have to worry. But to be with her husband is no good, because if she could get the feeling and the period together anytime.
So this is a chart about the sword.
Sorry?
So there's a chart.
So that's for later, after Chatzot, Tikkun Chatzot.
אינה חוששת לבדיקה.
Sorry?
For the husband, יש חוששת. אינה חושש לבדיקה.
Correct.
What is half?
זה לא בשיר הזה.
אוקיי.
כמה שירים בהם, אני לא יודע בדיוק.
אוקיי.
Okay, my friends, I want to point out that the Taz has a whole other pshat here. The Taz says that when it says Ein Chasheshas for one without the other, it means we're not choshesh for them like a veses kavua, but we are choshesh for them like a veses she'ena kavua. Takshiv. The Taz says if she is kavua for both, and then one happens without the other, she has to separate like a veses she'ena kavua. Not like a veses kavua, like a veses she'ena kavua. That means they can't be together, and lachatchila you do a badika, but if you miss the badika, it's okay, which is the halacha by veses she'ena kavua. If both happen on the day of course happens, and the veses, if she didn't do a badika, she's asur l'bayla until she does a badika. But if one happens without the other, day happens, no feeling. Feeling happens on a different day, she has to separate. She has to even do a badika. But if she didn't do the badika, it's okay, b'diavad. One second. There's a big nafkamina here. That according to the Taz, the Taz and Shach both agree that they have to separate on the day, if it's the day, right? But the Taz argues in the Shach in this point. If she gets a feeling on a different day, she's kavua on a day with a feeling, and she gets a feeling on a different day, the Shach says nothing to worry about, because it's not her day, so the feeling means nothing. Taz says no, that since this bodily symptom is very closely connected to her period, even though until now it was associated with a certain day, we're worried when she gets this feeling that maybe it's coming on a different day, and she has to separate for that oina until the end of the oina, like a veses she'ena kavua. Big chiddush. All right? Halacha is not like the Taz, because the Ramah pretty much says clearly, not like the Taz. Let's read. Here's the Ramah. V'dafka shekava levasis l'shneim b'yachad. That's only if she got a veses for both of them together. Al metchila, but at the beginning, choshesh l'kol echad b'fnei atzmai. She worries about each one separately. Ki nedas is mem tikva, because we don't know which one is going to become kavua. Which like we said before about Dilu and Yamim, or Flaga and Yamim, and will be explained later. So the Ramah is saying, until she's kavua for both together, she has to separate, she has to worry about each of them separately.
What do you mean that after she got the kavua?
Then she only has to worry about both of them together.
This is according to the Rama also.
Yeah, so you see in the Ramah. He's saying that. He's saying until she's kavua for both of them together, you have to worry about them separately. But once she's kavua for both of them together, that's it. Now we know it's only together.
So if one not one no?
If the day, if the feeling comes without the day, no separation is needed. If the day comes without the feeling, then we're going to have to say, like we said before, they have to separate. They just don't have to do the badika. Well, because that's what we're going to say later in Chafei. He doesn't argue there, so we have to say that's pshat here too. No, because the Taz says a veses haguf alone, a michash alone, even if after it's kavua to be together, you have to worry about it like a veses she'ena kavua. The Ramah says no, only before it's kavua b'yachad. Only when they're separate you have to worry about that. But once they're kavua b'yachad, then you only worry about the b'yachad. So that's different. All right.
So according to the Rama, it's not supposed to really not to be choshesh to bdika.
Correct.
What about being together?
Asr. On the day. Asr on the day, because we're afraid that the feeling may come. But if the feeling alone comes, well, on the day it means on the B'dika. If it's just the feeling without the day, then it's Enech Hashesh, it's Klal. Then there's nothing to worry about at all, because the day can't come if it's the wrong day. The Mechush could come on the day anytime, but the day can't come if it's the wrong day. So for that, Enech Hashesh means simple, nothing to worry about. Okay. There may be more to talk about, but for now, let's go on, and we'll go back. I'll look at my notes later, and we'll see if I have anything to add. Okay, number 20.
20?
Yeah, Chaf. Is that it for the Shir 28? Yeah, I think so. Wow, that was great.
Just one sip.
I love it. Next, 29.
This one?
Shir 29. Seif Chaf.
This one?
Video, Ken.
No.
No. Seif Chaf, that's all.
37.
Okay. If she was mefahik twice on Rosh Chodesh, how do you translate mefahik?
So it's usual. But it could be anything, right?
Yawn, stretch, or burp. Verasa, and she got a period. Chakach piyakash leber Chodesh.
Well, one second, I just realized stretch that's not a symptom that happens involuntarily.
It is involuntary. I'm talking about when it happened as a result of tiredness. You don't think before you stretch. You just kind of stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered involuntary, even though yawning also technically you could repress it, but when it comes, it just kind of comes. Okay, so and then she was mefaik, not on Rosh Chodesh. Her also she got a period. Again, twice it happened on Rosh Chodesh, and once not on Rosh Chodesh, she got a period. Now, over Hadavar Shemshchegam Piyuk. Now we know that it's not the date; it's a piyuk alone. It's not combined. Same thing. If on the third time she saw it on Rosh Chodesh without the piyuk, now on the contrary, we know that it's the Rosh Chodesh and not the piyuk.
So here we will not consider it like twice. It's like only one symptom. So it's meaning
Here we know what it is.
So
First time, 2 times it happened, we didn't know if it was one or the other or both. But now we know, because we saw.
So if she doesn't need to Choshesh and Rosh Chodesh, only when she's mefayek.
If the third time it happened not on Rosh Chodesh with piyuk, then we know it's piyuk only. If the third time it happened Rosh Chodesh without piyuk, we know it's Rosh Chodesh only.
So we don't need to worry about the Rosh Chodesh. We're waiting for the piyuk.
Correct. And if it's the opposite, then it's the opposite.
Okay.
Avon piyuk b'spam Rosh Chodesh b'mashish piyuk b'chavtes l'chodesh l'rasa Rosh Chodesh rasa b'lei piyuk. What if she saw twice on Rosh Chodesh with piyuk, and then the third time she was mefaik on Chaf Tes, on the 29th, the day before Rosh Chodesh, and then she got it on Rosh Chodesh. So now we are still going to connect the piyuk of yesterday with the period of today. And we're going to say, that it's a Rosh Chodesh piyuk combination. And that this month it happened to come early. But generally, it is a Rosh Chodesh piyuk combination. We're not talking about it happened 3 times in the day before. We're talking about twice it happened on the day, and once it happened the day before. So we're going to connect the one that happened the third time.
The day before, or
Anytime. We're going to connect the fact that happened the day before to the piyuk of today, and we're going to say that she becomes kavul for piyuk and Rosh Chodesh.
Piyuk and Rosh Chodesh first time. Second time was Piyuk and Chafet and Riyah on Rosh Chodesh. The third time, again, Piyuk on Chafet and Riyah on Rosh Chodesh.
It's not going to be kavul for Rosh Chodesh.
What if the third time is Rosh Chodesh? Just the middle.
Maybe if the third time it could be. I don't know about that, but definitely not twice the day before. I'll discuss soon about if it's the day before a few times.
If you connect it once, why you connect it again?
No, if it's twice connected on the day, and once it's early, we'll say that it's supposed to be Rosh Chodesh. It came a little bit early, but really it's a combination of Rosh Chodesh. But if it's twice before, then it's not really Rosh Chodesh.
But you see on Rosh Chodesh, if you
I understand, but it's not on the day. It's not on the day. It's not Rosh Chodesh and Piyuk. Maybe it's the day before. We'll discuss that soon, but it's not on the day. That's the point.
What about Bet?
What about it?
She saw on Aleph, and she yawned on Bet.
Day after?
Is this something like Rosh Chodesh?
Not so much. זה כבר לאחר המעשה. You can't give a hechsher to an ox after it's shechted. You can't give a hechsher to an ox after it's shechted. The whole point is to know before. After it's already done, what are you going to do?
Yeah. No, I'm saying that she still keep it. Do we see that the yawning is a part of her? Because you were saying it's the whole build-up.
It's the build-up. If she doesn't get it in the beginning, it's already. Anyway, we already said in the past that the first day is the main day. The rest of the days, the other days of bleeding is considered a sefas dam, extra blood. If she doesn't get it in the beginning, we're not going to connect. Okay.
I want to understand one time they can allow to connect this into Piyuk and Rosh Chodesh.
I'm sorry?
Why is it allowed to connect the Chafet, the Piyuk and the Rosh Chodesh and Riyah?
Because twice, majority of three, and this third time it came a little bit early, we'll connect it. The point is that this is a sign that her body. Yeah, it's a Gemara. It's actually, no, it's not a Gemara. It's not a Gemara. It's different. We had it by Kfitza, actually. We had it by Kfitza. And by Kfitza, if you remember, there were two versions of the Gemara. The Rambam holds that the Kfitza of yesterday is not associated with Rosh Chodesh. And we're going to just completely forget about the Kfitza. Other Rishonim, the Torah, for example, held that if she jumped an Erev Rosh Chodesh the third time, it will become Morkav, Kfitza and Rosh Chodesh. And before, the Machaber did not even bring down the opinion of the Torah. He only brought the Rambam. That if she jumps the day before the third time, forget about jumping. Only Rosh Chodesh. Here, he brings down, no, she got a day early, it's considered to be connected to Rosh Chodesh. So the Mefarshim discuss what's the difference by Kfitza, where we don't associate with it if it's the day before, it has to be on the day itself, all three times. Whereas when it comes to Vesas Aguf, even if it's a day early, the third time, we'll connect it. So the Mefarshim explain, I think it's the Rashba, that the fact that her body has a certain reaction to the period is a natural, normal thing, and it's a sign that her body is ready to have its flow. Sometimes the body shows it a little bit earlier. When it comes to Vesakritzis, where it's not really a normal thing for periods to have to do with jumping, so we're only going to connect them if you actually see it happen much clearly. If it happens a day early, we're not going to blame it. But because Vesakuf is a normal, natural thing, so therefore we're going to connect it if we can.
So we can say the Kfitza is from your Retzoncha. For the Mefaed, it's not a Retzoncha, it's the body coming
Exactly.
naturally.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It makes sense.
Okay. As far as women who get their periods earlier, who get their symptoms earlier. So.
A day early?
This is not uncommon.
What do you mean earlier?
Rav Wosner points out it's not uncommon for women to get these symptoms or similar symptoms. Because, by the way, Rav Wosner points out that these are just examples. There could be other symptoms, like we quoted before. Backache, for example, is a very common thing. So it's not uncommon for women to get these symptoms for several days before their period, and then they get their period. So the Machaber says, Rav Wosner says, that a woman who has this, if she normally gets the period, the symptom for 2 days before, then when she gets it, she has to separate after 2 days. She only gets it 3 days before, she has to separate after 3 days, whatever it is.
Not on the same day.
Now, she doesn't have to separate on the day itself because she doesn't get it on the day itself. In fact, we're going to see later that a woman that has a vesis for vesis aguf only, not connected with the day, if she normally does not get her period until after an hour or two of the symptom, she's not usher till an hour or two after the symptom starts. So we see even on the day itself, even when the symptom starts itself, she's not usher right away, even though it's going to come in an hour or two. How much more so if it comes a few days before? So, however, Rav Wosner has a chumrah here. I don't know if he made it up or if he found it somewhere, I don't know. He has a chumrah here. He says, during these days, she should do Badika before she's with her husband.
Every day
Until the day of separation, which is whatever day she's expecting it on, she has to separate from the beginning of that on. You understand? If it's the third day usually, so then that whole third day is forbidden, whatever it is. But during those other 2 days before, she has to do a bedika, because after all, she has a feeling, and the feeling is connected, and maybe something starts.
So it's only on Kabul, no?
Yes, probably only on Kabul.
Hmm?
Probably only in Kabul.
But on Kabul, you don't know exactly. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, so one can
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if
The
he's going to
average?
say it after one. I don't know if he's going to say it after one. But an interesting thing he says also here, and this is very common. A lot of women are like this. For a few days before they get their period, they start staining. Staining. They find ktamim.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes the ktamim are a problem. Sometimes not. Depends if they find it on colored, on white, the size, blah, 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 blah. So he says these stains are similar to the vesis aguf. And once she starts getting them, she should do a bedika before she can be with her husband.
Then if she do that,
It's a chumrah. It's a chumrah because some people.
Why is it from?
I've had shilas. I'm on vacation, and my wife is staining. What should I do? I mean, like, the world is coming to an end. On vacation, you'll learn some Torah instead. What can you do?
you can use if she is
Anyway,
good. If
yes.
you do that kitten, this thing. If you do that, and then she get the period 2 days after that.
I'm
Then-
sorry?
Let's say she get the stent today,
Yeah,
and then after 2 days she's getting the period.
yeah.
3 times like that. She can do it this like kabbalah.
Yeah, but she won't be forbidden for those 2 days. She just has to
Because of
separate after 2 days. And Rav Wosner recommends during those 2
to do it,
days to do a badika because something is starting.
The problem with vacations is when you
I understand, but still. No, I'm not saying the stains make her Tameya. I'm not saying that. It's just a sign that something's coming. What do you say, yes? Sorry.
the big problem with vacations is when you are in a place where you've assumed you only need a double bed.
Yes. That's a problem too. I don't know. I texted Ochana, he didn't respond. I don't know what to say.
The David Davinia.
I don't know. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. It's a problem also with the mikveh, if you're in a place without a mikveh.
What, Daniel?
And that's a problem for 2 weeks after your vacation.
That's true. That's true. Okay, our boys.
What about your kids?
We continue with 21, my friends.
Unless if you answer
Ma?
your friends. Answer?
He didn't respond, no. Piaka. Rosh Chodesh. Virasa. Chazer Piaka b'sech mea Chodesh. If she saw on Rosh Chodesh, sorry, she yawned on Rosh Chodesh.
Where were you?
21, Chaf Aleph.
Apart.
Okay? She yawned on Rosh Chodesh. Virasa, she got a period. Chazer Piaka b'sech mea Chodesh. And then she yawned again. She has to worry about that, and she has to separate it until she does the bedika. And after she does the bedika, she may be permitted even on that same oina.
Why?
Why not?
Why would she be able to tell? Maybe she's gonna get the.
Talk, and then once she does the bedika, then what?
Oh, once she gets, once that what you said? Once she does the bdika, she's permitted?
Once she does the bedika, she may be permitted.
Oh.
That we're going to see in Chavdal. A woman who has a veses for veses haguf only, not connected to a day, if the period is totally contained within the veses haguf, meaning she only bleeds while she gets the symptoms, not after. So then, when the veses haguf is over, she's good. You understand? She doesn't have to separate till the end of the night. So, but if not, no. I mean, if the period continues afterwards, then she'll have to separate the rest of the night. When he says asur l'shamash achetivdoik, that's for sure. After the bedika, she also asur? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see in Chavdal. All right? It's very quiet here.
Meaning she checked before the end of the day. Could be that it's still coming. So who says she would be permitted?
Exactly. So we're going to see in Chavdal that it depends if her period is always within the. I mean, always. Here it's Ein Kavua.
Yeah,
But I'm saying when it happened the first time, was the period totally contained within the symptom? She only was bleeding as long as she got the symptom.
We're going to learn from the one time?
Well, the whole point of separating for Abbas Shein and Kavua is that it might become Kavua. So it's not stricter than Kavua. Even if it's Kavua, if it's always contained within the symptom, she doesn't have to separate past the symptom till the end of the day.
If it's a kavua, you see it 3 times.
And even so, you're not asur past the symptom. You understand? How much more so is any kavua? Any kavua is not stricter than kavua.
That's for sure.
So they're more on symptom than kavua.
No, symptom could be kavua. If it happened 3 times, could be any kavua if it happened 1 time.
If she has keten, so it's meaning, and when she has the keten, she has to check.
Seder.
And the first time.
The Seder?
So this is the chumrah or?
Yeah, that's a chumrah. That's a chumrah. Ain't a kavua. Ain't a kavua. Talking about ain't a kavua. Okay. Shekol vesas bein shel yamin shel aguf. Any vesas, whether it's a day or a bodily one, she has to worry about it 1 time. Maybe she's getting a pihuk without a certain time. Also, if she checked after the pihuk and she had nothing, she has nothing to worry about as far as yawning is concerned.
On a different day.
On a different day. But she does have to worry about Rosh Chodesh. Maybe she'll get it in Rosh Chodesh. So again, she got 1 month Rosh Chodesh piyuk, but it's not kavua yet because it's only 1 month. We don't know what's going to happen to her. Is she going to be Rosh Chodesh? Is she going to be piyuk? Or is she going to be both? We don't know. So she has to separate on piyuk alone and on Rosh Chodesh alone. How much more so if they come together? But even if they don't, each one separately. Just like we said in Sif Yud Gimel, that she has to worry about Chodesh and Aflaga. We don't know. Maybe she's going to be Chodesh. Maybe she's going to be Aflaga. So now, maybe she's Chodesh. Maybe she's Guf. And actually, maybe, as we're going to see in Chabez, maybe she's Aflaga too. We don't know. She could be any of the above. She has to separate on all the possibilities, besides the Oina Beinas, which we don't even mention, but of course we know about too. Until she's Kavua, she'll separate for all of the possibilities.
Also, if it's a one time.
Even if it's one time or two times. After three times, hopefully you'll see. Maybe it's Kavua, maybe not. I mean,
Okay.
if it's Kavua on a certain day of the month, or Haflaga, or Guf, good. If it's not Kavua, you'll still worry about everything.
And if every month it's changed for 6
Ain't a
months,
Kavua.
7 months, ain't a Kavua.
Then it's any Kavua till further notice.
Okay.
Did you say it has to be a special type of yarn?
It doesn't have to be a special type of yawn. It has to be a succession of yawns, one after the other, in a way that is not a normal way to yawn. Again, Rav Osner does not know exactly what that means, like how many yawns, 5, 10. It's not clear exactly, but it has to be more than just a regular yawn. It has to be something that we see is different. And
Yawning is not usually done twice.
Then it's catchy, you know. One person
No,
does
not
it.
yourself.
Yes. Not to yourself.
It's not like just 3 or 4, right?
That's right. I'm doing it again now.
So,
All right. Let's continue.
Maybe with yawning it could be different.
What do you mean?
Yawning could be twice. Yawning, it's very strange to yawn twice.
No, it's not.
In a row?
Yeah, if you're
I
tired.
don't know if I've ever yawned twice in a row. No, I'm saying twice in a row, not wait a minute or two and then yawn again.
so it should be probably 5 minutes, the minimum. 5 minutes is unusual.
It's a lot of energy.
What's the Amenia? What's the rule of it?
I don't know.
No rule.
No rule.
We cannot say that the woman she's whining because she's tired, and then we tell her, "Excuse me, this is part of."
Yeah, it has to be something unusual.
Yeah, unusual.
I don't think they ever saw the Rebbe yawn.
He never slept.
I didn't say never slept. I just don't think he ever yawned in public.
You can make a joke like.
And he was in public for many hours.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Banging
like he,
dollars and davening.
and he was
Everybody don't
doing.
lean back on the chair also only twice a year. That's it. You
Well.
also lean back on the chair.
Went twice a year.
So it's twice in this one actually.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
And he was seeing people and all night.
It's not.
It depends. It's not a, I mean, the nighttime things were certain years and certain nights. It wasn't every night.
What time was his minion?
I mean, in the later years, it was 10 o'clock.
But he should still be learning before, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Rebbe had a very full schedule. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was very busy. Okay, let's continue. Rechena din b'yamim.
And
But where was
We're
it?
moving right on to 22, Chav Beis. Rechena din b'yamim, the same thing applies to days. In Piyaka hayoim, if she yawn, we'll just translate it as yawn, but it of course can mean any of the above. Upiyaka l'seif shloshim, and then again after 30 days.
like Rosh Chodesh, you can say that, right?
No, this is a haflaga. This is haflaga.
Aflaga?
Hayom ולאחר 30. זה עניין של הפלגה.
Okay.
אם תפג אפילו שלא יהיו 30 חשש לספיק, שמתק לפי graded. Now, if the next time around she yawns not on the 30th day, she'll still have to separate because we don't know that it's going to be a 30-day thing. Maybe it's a yawn thing. Now, if she yawned and she did not get it, so now she can strike yawning off the list. She still has to separate at the end of 30. Don't forget, by the way, she still has to worry about Chodesh. She got it 30 days apart. but she doesn't know that she's going to have a flaga. Maybe she's going to have the chodesh. She worries about chodesh and a flaga and yawning.
Wow.
Until each of them are knocked off. So the yawning, by the way, could be, she could keep that for months. Saying if she doesn't yawn in this same kind of way until 5 months later, she'll have to separate when she doesn't because it hasn't been removed. Understand? The case he brings here is that she yawned before the 30 days, but it doesn't have to be.
She must worry about that.
Yeah, until it's neckar at least once. It has to be uprooted at least once.
Okay.
Let me just look at my notes and see if there's anything that needs to be discussed. Okay, my friends, here's an issue that has to be discussed. If a woman has a veses hagof that's not kavua, you're listening? And she got the feeling and did not do a bedika. She had a veses haguf not kavua. That means she got a piyuk on Rosh Chodesh. And that's it. So far, that's it. So we don't know what's going to be with her. And then she gets a piyuk. She gets a piyuk. She did not do a bedika. Is she permitted to her husband or not?
So no.
So that's a she'ena kavua.
Yeah, this is just
She missed the bedika. Is she asur to her husband or not? Ronnie has to leave in 5 minutes. You have to leave.
5 minutes. You can do it. Okay, you can bring the 5 minutes. Okay.
Anyway, my guy never answered. We need to.
Unless...
You can't go.
Okay.
Yes, I can telephone. So I will say.
Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah. What do you say?
What do you pick it up? I'm just kidding.
No.
So
I said. What's the question again before?
Again, if she has a veses she'ena kavua and she did not do a bedika after the symptom, is she asur labaila until she does a bedika or not?
She asur.
That's correct. A veses she'ena kavua. Sorry. If you miss the bedika on the day, she's good without a bedika. So perhaps it should be the same thing here. Yeah?
Because the symptom, the goof is different.
Why? Tell me.
Because the symptom of the goof is giving you more careful because it's right there. Then
here's how the Taz reads it. Listen carefully. Pia kabrosh chodesh rasa. V'chazor pi d'sachaf aleph. V'chazor pi kabsich mea chodesh. Chosheshes lo yisei piyuk. Ve'asura l'shamesh ad shetivdok.
Some of the Sifra Kodesh. Two Sifra, that you know that positive or strict. So like you have to treat each one by himself.
I understand. But that's when it's a veses kavua for both together, and she only gets one or the other. That's a veses that he treats that a veses kavua. That's one chumrah. Here I'm talking about another chumrah. Here it's a veses kavua, and she did not do the bedika. The Taz reads the Machaber to understand. She's asura l'shamish until she does a bedika. Not like any other veses she'ena kavua. Any other veses she'ena kavua, she missed the bedika, fine, no big deal.
Is the third holding was on the basis of lager?
No,
Only because it's a symptom of the body.
exactly. Because he holds that the vessels of the body is more connected with the vessels even than the vessels of the days. And therefore, when she gets the vessel of the body, we have a strong reason to believe that it's coming. She's asura until she does a badika. Now the Shach of the Nekudas HaKesef disagrees with this Taz. And he says why should it be different? We don't find such a thing. What does it mean asura l'shamesh achetu doik? Listen here. Shach says we're talking about a case of a woman that normally her veses, her period, is completely contained within the michush. That means she only bleeds while she's yawning or burping or whatever. And the halacha is that such a woman is only forbidden during the symptom, not afterwards. Says the Shach, well, this woman, she's just finished yawning now. You're going to be mater to be with a husband without a badika right away? It's so close to the yawn. I mean, she could still have blood inside of her. What's going on? It's not right. You have to do a badika. Now, if it's already a day away, you don't have to do a badika because it is a vashena kavua after all. But if it's right after, and this woman has no cushion, it's not like a regular vashena kavua where you have a whole 12-hour period. This woman has no cushion because that's the halacha. If it's only within a certain amount of, if it's contained within the symptom, then it's moteris miyad. However, she needs to do a badika to be moteris right afterwards. And here's the third opinion. This is the Teres Hashlam and the Prisha and the Bach. Listen carefully. Listening?
What's the difference between the Taz and the Shach?
The Taz says she's usher forever until she does a badika. Finished. No badika. Don't touch. The Shach says if she wants to be with him right away, same day, she has to do a badika. Because otherwise there's no cushion at all. But if she does a badika, she's muteris even on the same day. Then she has to wait. No, exactly. Once she has a cushion, she's permitted.
The Shach holding back for the day, and Taz holding before.
Here's how the Prisha. I'm sorry? Third one is the Prisha and the Bach. Here's what they hold. When it says asura l'shamesh acha tivdek, what it means is that l'chatchila she should do a badika when she gets it, when she gets the piyuk. During the piyuk, because l'chatchila she is going to be asur without that badika. Now, if she already missed it, we're going to permit her. But during the time that she's getting it, we're telling her, no, do a badika now. You understand? Do a badika now, because l'chatchila, without a badika, you're going to be asur. Once she missed it, it's already b'diavad. But l'chatchila, we want her to do the badika at the time, so that she'll be able to be with her husband in a l'chatchila way. No, there is a difference. Because the Shach is saying even afterwards she has to do it.
But Prisha said, regardless if you want to be Mishamash or not, you should do it.
But if she missed it, she doesn't have to do it afterwards, according to the Prisha. It's the pshat that she has to do it during the time, so that afterwards she'll be mutter in the first place. But if she missed it, then she's mutter b'diavad even right after.
Oh, so
yeah. The whole thing is during the time she should do the badika to be muteras l'chatchila afterwards. Yes. The minute it's over, it's already b'diavad. So the Alter Rebbe actually says that the Rashba, which is the source of this, is mashma like the Shach. That she should. If she wants to be mishamash right away, she has to do a badika. That's correct. No, sorry, not the Rashba, the Raiva. Tomorrow you're going to watch the class on the YouTube. I'm going to email you the link, and you'll be able to sit at home with your Farbrengen and whatever else you have. And
Wait, next
What's
week.
what's this?
I'm in
And then
Tampa
next
for a
Monday, we're gonna
bris.
start Siyams, right?
I'm in Tampa for a bris tomorrow, but I'm
What's
gonna
up to?
but I'm
Right.
gonna
Are we
record
gonna
it.
do
I'll send you a
Siyams
link.
next
You
Monday
can
and
watch it
Tuesday then?
if we have.
No.
No,
So let's schedule it.
no, go ahead. I'm listening.
But you want to see him so you can eat.
If you take one, I'll take the other. How about that?
Gonna be a parent,
I prefer a Masechta Mishnayos to a Perek
Masechta
Gemara.
Mishnayos.
Masechta Mishnayos is better than a Perek Gemara.
Okay. Is it a big day next week?
The Rebbe, the voucher Rebbe encouraged people to do Siyum in the 9 days.
Which,
To counter the negative energy with the Simcha of Torah.
But not necessarily.
which one you wanna do?
Well, no, it's up to you.
Is there any particular ones that would be appropriate for this time of year?
If you want to do Gemara, you can do Tamid, which is like 12 blot or maybe even less. And it has but the Samigdash and Rabbanos and all that. Kind of the Mishnayos, Niddah is the obvious choice because it's about the building of the Samigdash. So
Which one are you think are you gonna do?
I'm going to do Midas. It's a shame. But you can do it too. It's not a problem.
I'll do,
Come on.
any other ones?
Mishnayos or Gemara?
Mishnayos.
Mishnayos.
Come
They're all
on.
good. They're all good. You can do Tamid and Mishnayos too.
You're gonna do it in tomorrow?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, you're not, okay,
I'm
Tommy?
going to do just
Okay.
Midas. I don't want to commit to doing
Okay, I'll do Tommy.
8 extra blood. I've got too much going on.
Okay, I'll do Tommy.
Okay, we got a deal.
Tommy tomorrow.
No,
No, you're gonna do
I didn't
Midas.
say that.
You're gonna do Midas, right?
Midas, Mr. Shem. All right, Yossi, did you hear what I said?
He's gonna bring,
No class tomorrow, just a recording.
Tuesday and
Send out a
Thursday.
recording.
Okay. What do you mean just a recording?
I'm going to record it, but it's not going to be live because I'm going to be on my way back from a bris driving. So I'm going to pre-record it and I'll release it for viewing at your leisure.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. All the best.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.